Hello, good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
Hi. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So we will start the lecture without getting delayed. Hi. Okay. So here, let me, wait. So then this is the lecture we started yesterday. So our topic was the 5 E's instructional model based on the constructivist approach to learning. So under that, there are 3 subtopics: behaviorist and constructivist paradigm, implication of 5 E's in the context of English teaching methods, relevant student and teacher behavior. So out of these 3 topics, we completed first one. That's what I can remember. Let me show it to you. So there are 2 theories, behaviorism and constructivism. But you all are thorough with constructivism because it was there in the earlier lesson. So we decided to touch behaviorism in detail. Okay, so this is how we started. Okay, so then this is what we studied yesterday, but even then I am just reminding you what we did. Okay, so there are certain key principles in language acquisition under behaviorism. Learning as a result of conditioning. There are 2 types of conditioning: classical conditioning and operant conditioning. Okay, so that is then observable behavior only considered under behaviorism. So there are unobservable behavior, but that is not touched. And then nature was nurture. So here nature, it refers to what we get by birth. Nurture, it refers to environment. Under behaviorist theory, the nurture, the environment is focused more. Okay, then we got to know this example. Okay, so are these clear or should we touch it once again?
Touch it once again, madam.
Touch it once again. Okay. See. Behaviorism. So behaviorism is another theory under language acquisition. This theory emphasizes the role of environmental factor in shaping behavior. Okay, that means people's behaviors are shaped by the environment in which they are there. So people's environment control their behavior, in other words. Okay, so in the context of language acquisition, behaviorists argue that language is learned through conditioning, primarily through imitation and reinforcement. Okay, so then not only for general behavior, even when we consider the behavior of a person in language acquisition, the environment matters a lot. Okay, so then if somebody asks you what is behaviorism, so you can say behaviorism is a language acquisition theory. It emphasizes the importance of environment in shaping behavior. Is that clear? Behaviorism highlights the importance of environmental factor in shaping behavior. Okay. So then after that we discuss certain key principles of behaviorism. Under that we learn conditioning as the first. So there are 2 types of conditioning. One is classical conditioning, other one is operant conditioning. Under classical conditioning we discuss. So then when there is a neutral stimulus, when it connected, when it paired with a meaningful stimulus, learning occurs. That means under behaviorism, under conditioning, it says, when we think about learning process, there should be an interaction between neutral stimulus and meaningful stimulus. So here we discuss one example. When the dog is trained to have meal after ringing a bell, the dog will follow it. So whenever the bell rings, the saliva will come to dog's mouth and dog is ready to have meal. Okay, that is conditioning. So when the dog is hearing other noises other than the ringing of the bell, the saliva will not come to dog's mouth. Only when this particular bell is rung, only the dog is ready to eat. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, that is classical conditioning. Operant conditioning is other one. It says this type of learning occurs when a behavior is followed by a consequence that changes the likelihood of the behavior recurring. Okay, so then human beings are having different behavior. The students are having different behavior. How do they decide whether this behavior should be repeated or not? Okay, so the repetition of a particular behavior is decided by the reinforcement. Reinforcement is similar to feedback. If the learner is getting positive feedback, the learner will continue the particular behavior. If the learner is getting negative feedback, the learner will not continue that behavior. Okay, increase the likelihood of a behavior. Okay, so then both positive reinforcement and negative reinforcement, both are equally needed. Why is that? When students do good things, we have to give positive reinforcement, so they will continue doing goods. But when they do when they do something good, if we are giving negative reinforcement, they will not continue it. Okay, so opposite of that is regarding something bad. So when a student is doing something bad, so we should give them negative reinforcement, so they will not repeat it. But when students are doing something bad, if you are giving positive reinforcement, the students will continue doing bad things. Yesterday, I told you about the Jataka story where there are two birds. One bird thrown into a hermitage, the other bird thrown into a gang of robbers. Okay, that is that. And under behaviorism, we can't observe all types of behavior. For an example, human beings are having observable behavior plus unobservable behavior. So we can see what a person talks, how he goes, how he communicates with others. Those things are visible. But his psychology, the psyche, the mental behavior cannot be observed. So for that, there should be very high quality equipments that should be done inside the lab. Okay, therefore you should remember under behaviorism, only the observable behaviors are done. are counted. Is that clear?
Excuse me, madam.
How?
Madam, can you please tell an example for classical conditioning in education? I can
Sorry?
understand the concept, madam.
Which
Can
one?
you please tell an example for
Ah.
classical conditioning in education?
Classical conditioning. Okay. Classical conditioning in the field of education. Okay, so then for an example, so
Excuse
here
me,
it is
madam. Your
about,
sound is cracking, madam.
can't hear. What did you say?
Sometimes, yes, madam. Sometimes your sound is cracking, madam.
Sound is not clear. Is that so?
Sometimes, madam. Yes.
What about the other students? Do you feel like that?
No, ma'am.
No. Yeah, that's not because I'm not using a dongle. This is SLT fiber connection. Okay, so I don't think that the connection is weak. It's wrong actually. If I am using a dongle, there may be some weak signal or something like that. This is the landline connection. You please check your connection. Sumeya, am I clearly audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So then you are asking me to give one example from with reference to the field of education. Okay, for an example, in the field of education, the students are trained to certain behaviors. Okay, for an example, the changing of the periods from 7:30 to 1:30, that is one. And then even when we take a lesson, okay, so then when the teacher will take a grammar lesson, okay, so when the teacher is telling them how to form question, how to write question form, how to use question form, so then whenever they use question form, whenever they want to have a question, the things will come to their mind. For an example, that is visible at every places. Okay, so then active voice, passive voice. Okay, so then the students will be explained what is active voice. Under active voice, the doer is the subject. Okay, under passive voice, the object will come, or object will be used as the subject or something like that. Okay, whenever the students see an active voice sentence, they recognize it and they understand it. Okay, so then here the example is bell was paired with the food to make dog saliva. Okay, just like that in the field of education. So then when students are given instruction, the students will respond to them. And when students are given exercises, they will respond to it. They know what their reaction should be. So when the teacher is telling you are having your monthly test next week, so that is the conditioning. And then the students will get ready for the exam. So they will go through their notes and they will get ready for that. Okay, are you satisfied with the answer?
Yes, madam. Thank you.
Hari, okay, Hari. Then operant conditioning that we discussed. That means that the operant conditioning means whether the decision, whether the action should be continued or not, is taken based on the reinforcement. Okay, then we were talking about this. There are different types of behavior, but under behaviorism, we just consider only the observable behavior. So we don't consider the mental behavior. Okay, then at last we came to the concept nature was nurture. So nature means the talents, the skills we get by birth. Nurture is the environment. Okay, I told you the generally nature means environment. But here nurture is the environment. Nature is the talents or the skills received by birth. Okay, so here the behaviorist theory focuses more on nurture. So it highlights rather than what a student gets by birth, the environment where the student is living will shape him. Okay, so then here we discuss one example. Oh, see here. People may have a natural aptitude for language learning. Behaviorists would argue that language acquisition is primarily the result of environmental factors. Language acquisition basically is the result of environmental factors such as exposure to language, opportunities for practice, and reinforcement from others. Okay, so then I told you yesterday, some parents say my child, he was very talented in English language. He could talk very nicely, but now he can't. So that is because they got that talent by birth. But if that talent is not upgraded with the proper environment, that talent will vanish. Okay, both nature and nurture, inborn skills and nurture. Nurture means here you got to know the environment. Okay, so inborn talents and the environment both are important actually, but behaviorists, they focus more on nurture, the environment. So behaviorism say the environment shapes human behavior. Okay, that's what we did yesterday. Are they clear or any question?
Clear, ma'am.
Now tell me, what are the basic core principles of behaviorism? Number one, conditioning. Classical conditioning and operant conditioning. What is the next one?
Observe.
Observable behavior. Yes, correct. Observable behavior. And then nature was nurture. We'll see what it is. Yeah, nature. Only three. Correct. Learning as a result of conditioning, observable behavior, nature was nurture. So those are the things, the main thing under behaviorism. Okay, now we will go, that's what we discussed, but there are some more. Tabula rasa. Okay, just read and get some idea. Okay, did you read it?
Yes, ma'am.
Correct. A tabula rasa. That's not an English term. It's a Latin term. So therefore, don't worry about it. Tabula rasa is a Latin phrase that translates to blank slate. So what is a slate? What is a slate?
We will use by the chalk to write.
And correct, exactly. So then in our childhood also, I don't know about you, I have seen, and even I might have used, I don't have a very strong memory. So the student had some particular thing just like a blackboard on that is in Sinhala we call gallal. So on that we used to write letters, the numbers with a stick. That is slate. Blank slate. Tabula rasa means blank slate. That's the equivalent for writing. In the context of behaviorism, it refers to the idea that all individuals are born with a blank mind. Okay, so under behaviorism, it believes that all individuals are born with a blank mind, devoid of any innate knowledge or predispositions. Okay, so behaviorism, it thoroughly believes all people are born with a blank mind. So when they are born to this world, nothing is there in mind, just like a blank slate. Okay, they don't have innate knowledge or predispositions, anything. Nothing is there. Behaviorists argue that our experiences and learning shape our behavior, not our innate characteristics. So earlier also we discussed the same thing. Behaviorists, they highlight the importance of environment. That means the experiences and learning shape our behavior, not our innate characteristics. It does not give a prominent place for inborn talents, innate characteristic. This concept is central to behaviorism as it implies that all individuals have the potential to learn and develop any behavior regardless of their genetic makeup. So whether you were born with inborn talents or not, you have a potential to learn and develop any behavior. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am, excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah, sure.
That whether the tabula rasa is similar to the positivism, ma'am.
Yeah, some similarities there. What you told is correct. But under positivism also they believe students' heads as empty vessels. But it's they think like that in a negative way. That is the difference. Students' heads are empty vessels. Nothing is there. The teacher's task is to fill these empty vessels with knowledge. But here, what you told is exactly correct. The tabula rasa, that he also believes that people are born to this earth without anything in their mind. But this is positive because they think so the here so where is that all individuals are born with blank mind, devoid of any innate knowledge or predisposition. Our experiences and learning shape our behavior, not our innate characteristics. But the experiences and learning shape our behavior, but we can learn and we can have the potential to learn and develop any behavior, even though nothing is there in our mind when we were born. So we can have a potential to reach very high level. That is the difference. What you told is correct. I do accept. But there is a difference also. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Harry, okay. Next one we'll go. Key implication of the tabula rasa concept in behaviorism. Okay, just read. Okay, if you finish reading, let me know.
Okay, ma'am.
Hi. Okay, here a key implication of tabula rasa concept in behaviorism. Empiricism. So behaviorists believe that knowledge is acquired through experience and observation rather than innate intuition or reasoning. Okay, that is behaviorist opinion. Okay, so some other theorist may be having a different opinion. So then behaviorists, they believe the peoples are born without anything in their mind, but they acquire knowledge through experience and observation. So then rather than innate intuition or reasoning. So there's nothing called innate talents, innate skills. And then nurture over nature. The tabula rasa concept emphasizes the role of environmental factors in shaping behavior rather than genetic factors that you already know. Then plasticity. Behaviorists believe that human behavior is malleable and can be modified through learning and conditioning. So human behavior can be modified and can be modified through learning and conditioning. That is why it is said that individuals have the potential to learn and develop any behavior. Okay, they can improve their behavior and they can reach high potential. Okay, so then human behavior will not be with only one. That behavior is developing actually with experience and the environment. Next one. Yeah, just see.
Okay.
Hi, okay. So here, this concept of a blank slate, tabula rasa, blank slate suggests that all individuals have equal potential for learning and development. So that is how behaviorists say. So all the individuals, they have equal potential for learning and development. So that is questionable actually. While the tabula rasa concept has been influential in behaviorism, it has also been criticized for oversimplifying the role of genetics and innate abilities in shaping behavior. Okay, so there is a cross argument against behaviorism. So most of the critics, they say under behaviorism, innate abilities, innate talents, inborn talents are oversimplified, the genetic and innate abilities. But modern research suggests that both nature and nurture play a role in determining behavior. But modern viewpoint is, even though behaviorism rejects nature, that means innate abilities, in reality, both nature and nurture, that means inborn talents and the environmental factors, both are needed in shaping human behavior. So then sometimes you may be wondering, you did not ask, but I assume that you have this problem in answering. So then what is this human behavior? How it is related to learning? Okay, so education changes our behavior actually. So learning something new means learning a new behavior. So then you are not the person who were at the beginning of this subject today. So you have learned different things. So your behavior, it has changed. The purpose of education is also to have positive behavior. Encourage children to have positive behavior. Okay, so then we are having term test, semester exams. From them also we are checking how students have changed, in their behavior. Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay. So remember, the behaviorism is a huge theory. Constructivism is a huge theory. There are books written about these theories. But here, our purpose is to get some idea about this theory, these theories. Therefore, our purpose is not to learn A to Z about these theories. But if you can remember what constructivism is, what behaviorism is, simply generally that's sufficient. Okay, we'll say next one.
Okay, ma'am.
Stimulus response. S from stimulus, R from response. Psychology. Okay. Stimulus response psychology is a fundamental principle of behaviorism that focuses on the relationship between stimuli, environmental events, and responses, behavior. Okay, so it suggests that behavior is a simple reaction to a stimuli, and that complex behaviors can be explained as chains of simple response association. Okay, so then most of human behaviors are reaction to certain stimuli. Okay, so then stimulus. In Sinhala we call uttejanayak. Api monawa hari deyak karot, there is a reaction. Okay, so then this behaviorism is telling the environment is giving stimulus. So we can see responses. And then combination of these small responses will create complex behavior. Okay, so I will give you some example. If a person is talking to you very nicely, you will respond that person very positively. So whenever you see him, you will smile. So whenever you are free, you will talk to that person. Okay, you will tell others that this person is very nice. Okay, so then this person was smiling to you, talking very nicely, and you gave this type of positive response. At the same time, just imagine there is a person who never smiles with you, who never talks to you, and this person has told others bad about you. So how will you be your responses? And you will not talk with that person. You will criticize that person with others. Okay, just like that. So according to stimulus, the responses differ. And then some responses are, with some behaviors are very, very complex. And according to behaviorism, the reason for those complex behavior is the chain of simple stimulus response associations. That means sometimes when a person is having always negative comments, when the person is continuously having bad result or bad experience, that person's behavior may be very tough to understand. And so we say it's very complex. And the reason for that complexity is a chain of simple stimulus response associations. Did you get some idea? If you have a doubt, you can ask. All the behaviors are the results of stimuli. So then we say there's no action without reaction. So there's no reaction without action or something similar to that. Then it should be hot for you to switch on the fan or switch on the AC. Okay, so the stimuli is hotness. Response is switching the fan. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Fine. We have if it is necessary.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Simple stimulus response associations. Behaviorists believe that even complex behaviors can be broken down into smaller, more basic stimulus response associations. Okay, so that is how they believe. Behaviorists, they say even very complex behaviors can be nicely analyzed, breaking them into small stimulus response associations. So there is a nice example given. I think you can understand better with this example. Learning to drive a car. So you just see a person is driving a car. It's a complex behavior. It's not an easy task. Car can be seen as series of stimulus response association, such as turning the steering wheel. So while driving when and where it necessary, the driver is turning the steering wheel. We can't keep the steering wheel at a stretch the same way. To adjust the direction of the car and pressing the brake pedal to slow down. These are the small individual stimulus responses. The combination of all these things is called driving a car. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi. Yeah, just understand these things.
Okay, ma'am.
Hi, okay. So here there is a nice example teaching a dog to sit. So then actually we need not to teach a dog to sit. It normally sit. That is the nature. To teach a dog to sit using stimulus response psychology. See, identify the desired behavior. So you have to decide what you want. The desired behavior is for the dog to sit. That's what your potential. You want to teach your dog how to sit. Choose a stimulus. So then to have this response, you are using stimulus a hand signal. Sometimes using your hand, you may ask the dog to sit, such as a flat hand held out can be used as a stimulus. You may show with your hand the dog to sit. Pair the stimulus with the desired response. Every time the dog sits naturally, the hand signal is given. Okay, so then you want to make your dog sit when you give hand signal. But normally dogs are sitting. So every time the dog sits naturally, so without any hand signal, the dog will sit. The hand signal is given. So you have to show the hand signal. And then reinforce the desired behavior. When the dog sits in response to the hand signal, it is rewarded with a treat or praise. So whenever dog sits according to your hand signal, you have to praise the dog. Reinforcement, positive. And then repeat. This process is repeated many times until the dog consistently sits in response to the hand signal. So you know these animal shows, the elephant shows, then blue whale, whale shows, they are there. And every time the animal is following your instruction, the person's instruction, person is feeding the animal. That is the reward. So at least to have that food item or the prey, the animal will follow it. Okay, if you have a doubt, you can ask. Okay, so from this example, we got to know behavior can be taught. Okay, so for that, we have to provide stimulus. Then the animals will learn behavior. The human beings are also like that. So when teachers are giving stimulus, the student will respond. Next one, behavior modification.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Behavior modification. Behaviorists believe that behavior can be modified through systematic conditioning techniques. Okay, so there are different behaviors. The behaviors are there based on the stimulus. So then behaviorists believe these behaviors can be modified using conditioning techniques. This approach is widely used in therapy, education, and other fields to change unwanted behaviors and promote desired one. So why we modify behavior? There are unwanted behavior. So we want to remove them and we want to promote desired behavior. So that is why we modify behavior. We'll see.
Okay, ma'am.
Hi. Behavior modification is a systematic approach to changing behavior using principles of operant conditioning. We have touched this early. If you can remember the first thing, the behavior can be can be seen through conditioning. That is the first principle. So there are two types of conditioning. So one is classical conditioning, the other one is operant conditioning. Under operant conditioning, we were talking about reinforcement, feedback. So here it is. It involves identifying target behavior, analyzing their antecedents and consequences, how their behavior is, how the history of the behavior, and applying specific techniques to increase desired behaviors and decrease unwanted one. Okay, after that, if you notice certain desired behavior, you can encourage it to have more. And then if you notice there are unwanted behaviors, you can discourage them. We'll see further. We are learning this theory like this. So behaviorism is spoken with reference to language, but behaviorism theory is related to other field also.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Key techniques used in behavior modification. Positive reinforcement, that means rewarding desired behavior to increase its frequency. So when students are doing some good things, we encourage them. You are a very good child. You are very, very talented. So I will tell your parents also, you are very good like that. So then the student tends to repeat that good behavior. So positive reinforcement is needed. So negative reinforcement, removing something unpleasant to increase desired behavior. Just imagine a student did something bad, stealing or something like that. So you can give negative reinforcement. I thought you are a very good child, but I'm really disappointed. You are not so. So how do your parents feel if they got to know that you have stolen things like that? So you will, when you give negative reinforcement, the students will not repeat it. Punishment. Applying a negative consequence to decrease unwanted behavior. The punishment is also in a way a negative reinforcement. So why do we modify behavior? That is to improve wanted behavior, and that is to decrease unwanted behaviors. Sorry, what we are doing, key techniques used in behavior modification.
Okay, ma'am.
Harry, extinction. Ignoring or withholding reinforcement for a previously reinforced behavior to decrease its frequency. Sometimes when the student is repeating the same behavior, and if you don't want to encourage it, you will ignore it. So you are not giving any comments. Okay, so then that will extinct, that will go out. The students will not repeat it. Sometimes the silence is the best policy. So when you ignore the things, that behavior will not be repeated. Shaping. Gradually reinforcing closer and closer approximations of a desired behavior. While you are ignoring unwanted behavior, the desired behavior can be closer examined. And you can give positive feedback to desired behavior. You can analyze them closely like that. And then chaining, breaking down complex behaviors into smaller manageable steps, and reinforcing each step sequentially. So if it is a very complex behavior, you can break that complex behavior into small segments, and each and every behavior, small behavior, can be analyzed and give feedback. Okay. Here, see, now you have some idea about constructivism and behaviorism. I know you don't have 100% clear idea. That's okay. That's natural. So constructivism believes that students construct new knowledge on the existing knowledge. Behaviorism believes that environment plays a major role in shaping human behavior. Is that clear? The main focus is that. Any doubt?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Now we will compare and contrast behaviorism and constructivism. So we are going to compare and contrast them according to the focus of these theories, the learning process, role of the teacher, learning environment, assessment. Okay, just see.
Okay.
Hari, okay. Focus. The behaviorism focuses on observable behavior. Constructivism focuses on active knowledge construction. Okay, so then when it comes to learning outcomes, under behaviorism, passive reception of information. Okay, constructivism, active engagement and exploration. So under behaviorism also, the students are passively receiving information. But constructivism is the latest one. So they are students, students' active involvement is there and they explore the knowledge. They search for the knowledge. And it's not giving the knowledge. It's searching and getting the knowledge. Role of the teacher under behaviorism, instructor and dispenser of knowledge. Okay, knowledge giver. Under constructivism, the teacher is a facilitator and a guide. Then when we think about learning environment, structured and control. Under behaviorism, the students, the classrooms are highly structured and controlled. But under constructivism, open-ended and exploratory. It's not very rigid, very strict learning environment. So when it comes to assessment, standardized test and objective measures. So there are various standard exams. But under constructivism, performance-based assessment and portfolio, the modern way of assessing. The performance-based. They are assessed not based on what they write, how they perform the things. Okay, from this table also you can understand. Constructivism is the latest one. Behaviorism, it was there before constructivism. Okay, is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Hari. So here. Okay, did you read it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. In Sri Lanka, the educational system has been influenced by both theories, behaviorism and constructivism. While there has been a shift towards more learner-centered and constructive methods in recent years, okay, actually, even in Sri Lankan education setup, the educationalists, they have identified the need of turning towards constructivist approach. But still, traditional behaviorist practice still exists in some school, not actually some school, most of the schools. The traditional behaviorist practices are there. The specific implementation of these paradigms may vary depending on the school, grade level, and subject matter. Okay, so even though constructivism is the best, still there are practical issues in implementing. Depending on the school, all the schools are not same. There are differences among schools. Okay, subject matter wise, there are certain subjects that can be taught very comfortably using constructivist approach. But at the same time, there are some other subjects which cannot be taught under constructivist approach. Okay, up to we are next moving to the last topic, implication of 5Es. But before that, if you have any doubts, questions, you can ask. No, we are moving to the second topic, not the last.
No, ma'am.
No, okay. Okay, then if your answer is no, we'll go to this. Implication of 5Es in the context of English teaching methods. Or sometimes some of you may know what these 5Es are. Okay, English teaching methods. So that is in the context of English teaching methods. Okay, just read.
Okay.
Hi. The 5Es is a teaching framework commonly used in science education. Originally, 5E concept, it was there for science education. But that can also be applied to English teaching. So even though originally it was for science, that can be applied to English teaching also. It provides a structured approach to lesson planning and implementation, focusing on active student engagement and inquiry-based learning. So these 5Es are available there in lesson plan. So I know there are students who went for implant training to school. They might have written lesson plans. When you were writing lesson plans, you followed this 5E method. And when you apply 5E method, it will focus on active student engagement and inquiry-based learning. See here. So these are named as 5Es because all these words, 5 words, start with the letter E. Engage, explore, explain, elaborate, evaluate. We'll see. Number 1, engage.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes. Engage. Engage is the first of the 5 E's teaching framework. This is the first. It's the crucial step where you capture students' interest and curiosity about the topic before diving into deeper learning. So under engage, so you have to capture, you have to catch students' interest and curiosity to what you are going to teach, to your topic. Before diving into deeper level, before you start the lesson even, you have to get the attraction and interest of the students. So that is the important one. So when you are planning a lesson, you have to think how I am going to get the interest and curiosity of students towards what I am going to teach, like that. Okay, that is engage.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes. Strategies to effectively engage student in English teaching. Relate to personal experience. Connect the topic to students' lives of interest. For example, if teaching about friendship, share a personal anecdote or ask students to share their own experiences. So just imagine you are going to teach them about friendship. Okay, so before you start your lesson, you can arouse the interest of the students. So then if you know that what you are going to teach them is friendship, but you need not to tell directly to the student, but you can encourage students to share their experiences about friendship, like that. Okay, so when you make it more personalized, so they will be very comfortable and they will learn better. Okay, so that means just imagine, so you are going to teach them about White House in America. Okay, there is an English lesson, White House in America. So then students will not understand very clearly White House because that is in America. But you can just make it familiar to them, connecting that to a very huge building in your city, maybe town hall, maybe school's main hall or something like that, the size of the building. So students will be comfortable, and that is a kind of personalizing. They feel what they are going to learn is not something new, it's something familiar. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Hari, okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Pause thought-provoking question. Pause thought-provoking questions. Okay. Pause means present. Give them thought-provoking questions. It's not this close-ended questions like yes, no questions, not them. Open-ended questions. And your question will arouse their thinking, thoughts. Ask students that spark curiosity and encourage critical thinking. For instance, when teaching about a literary text, ask what do you think the author's message is? Okay, just like that. So rather than giving a close-ended question, you can forward open-ended questions like this. What do you think the author's message is? So then the students, they have to think. And then use multimedia. Incorporate videos, images, or audio clips to make the topic more engaging and visually appealing. For example, show a short clip from a movie related to the novel you are studying. Okay, so that's not a new thing. The multimedia can be used very effectively in the process of teaching. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Hi. Are you clear what we are doing? I'm just checking. We are discussing about the strategies to effectively engage students in English teaching. Okay, we are with 5E models. Still we are with engage, the number 1. Create a real world connection. Show how the topic is relevant to the students' lives or the world around them. For instance, when teaching about climate change, discuss local environmental issues or news stories. Okay, so maybe your topic is environmental issues or climatic changes. Okay, so you can start the lesson with the students' environment, local environment itself. Okay, then play games or puzzles. They use interactive activities to make learning fun and engaging. For example, create a vocabulary quiz game or a crossword puzzle related to the topic. Okay, so there are different ways that you can engage students in the process. Engage, is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now we'll go to explore.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. explore. You know the meaning of the verb explore. Explore is similar to search. Explore is the second step in the 5E's teaching framework. It's where students actively investigate the topic through hand-on activities, experiments, or discussion. Here, the verb explore is from students' point of view. Actually, students are exploring. Okay, so then the teacher will give them a topic. So they will explore the topic using hand-on activities, experiments, or discussion. There are different ways that they can explore. This allows them to explore different perspectives and ideas and develop deeper understanding of the subject matters. So this is actually a kind of collaborative learning. So they can go for discussion. So then different ideas will come as a result. So because of the different ideas, the student can go for a deeper understanding of the subject matter. So always there should be different opinions, cross opinions, arguments. Then only the subject matters can be understood in a deeper level. Okay. So these are the strategies for exploration.
Okay.
Yes. Strategies to effectively explore in English teaching. Group discussions. Facilitate discussions where students share their thoughts and ideas on the topic. Okay, together they can talk about the topic. This can help them develop critical thinking skills and learn from each other. Okay, so the discussions are really nice. So they will develop their critical thinking skills and they will learn from each other. Collaborative learning. Then role playing. Have students act out different scenarios related to the topic. This can help them understand the topic from different perspectives and practice their language skills. A role play can be used as a very good strategy for exploration.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Writing activities. Encourage students to write about their experiences and reflections. This can help them process their learning and express their ideas. Okay, that is also a very good method. The writing activities can be used here. Strategies for effective explore. Writing strategies. Then hand-on activities. Incorporate activities that allow students to physically interact with the topic. For example, if studying a historical event, have students create timeline or build a model. Okay, that means hand-on activities means something exactly similar to what is there in the lesson. Here, the strategies to effectively explore group discussion, role play, writing activities, hand-on activities, even field trips.
Okay.
Okay. So if possible, take students on field trips to places related to the topic. This can provide students with first-hand experiences and make the learning more memorable. Okay, so I don't know the practicality, but if it is possible, it's really nice. Now the third one, explain. Engage, explore, explain.
Okay.
Okay. Explain. Explain is the third step in the 5E's teaching framework. It's where the teacher provides explanations, definitions, and concepts to help students make sense of their observation and experiences. Here, explain, it refers to what teacher does. Teacher is explaining, providing explanations, giving definitions, like that. Okay, so explaining is also a part of a 5E concept teaching framework. So now we discuss engage, explore, explain.
Okay.
Yes. Strategies for effectively explaining in English teaching. So then this is from teacher's point of view. Okay, so what type of strategies teacher can use to explain the lesson? Employ diagram, sorry, use visual aids. Okay, you know what visual aids are. Employ diagrams, charts, or models to illustrate key concepts. This can help students visualize abstract ideas and make connections between different pieces of information. Okay, so you can use visual aids. Using visual aids, students can imagine the things. So then if it is about neglecting parents when they grow old, that's what you are going to teach the students. Neglecting parents when they grow old. So there you can show some pictures of very old parents who are deserted by students who are in home for elders, or you can show videos. Okay, you can explain the things using visual aids. Then provide clear examples. Offer concrete examples to help students understand abstract ideas. Okay, so there may be abstract ideas, but you can use very clearly examples to make it clear. For instance, when teaching vocabulary, provide real world examples on how the words are used. Okay, so then you want to show students how this word is used, but rather than forming an unknown sentence, you can use certain things which are familiar to them. Concrete examples to help students understand abstract things. But these things should be real world examples. They should not be something unfamiliar to the students. Next one.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes. Encourage questioning. So then foster a classroom environment where students feel comfortable asking questions and seeking clarification. So we are with the fourth one explained. Okay, so then some teachers, they discourage students when they ask questions. But actually, the classroom environment should be in a way that students feel comfortable in asking questions. So when they ask questions only, they can get clarifications. This can help them deepen their understanding. Okay. So when they ask questions and when teacher is giving clarifications, their understanding will be very strong and deep. And identify any areas where they need further explanation. Okay, so questioning will give you an idea what are the areas that they need further information like that. And then the next one, use analogies and metaphors. Compare unfamiliar concepts to familiar ones to help students make connection. So there may be certain unfamiliar things in the teaching stuff. So you can make some familiar concepts so that students will understand those things. For example, to explain the concept of metaphor, you might compare it to a simile. You know what simile is? Metaphors. So then metaphor may be something tough for students to understand, but simile may be something easier. Okay, you can compare metaphor with a simile. Simile is something that they understood.
Okay, ma'am.
Break down complex ideas. So then when the idea is complex, the teacher can explain it breaking into small segments. Break down complex ideas into smaller, more manageable parts. This can help students understand the topic gradually and avoid feeling overwhelmed. Those are simple things actually, you know. Okay, then the fourth one, engage, explore, explain, now elaborate.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, elaborate. So you know the meaning of elaborate. Elaborate is the fourth step in the 5E's teaching framework. It's where students apply the learned concept to new situations or problems, extending their understanding and deepening their knowledge. Okay, they expand their knowledge. Okay, they understood certain concepts and they will apply them to new situations or new problems. And their understanding will be broad. So education should be like that actually. It should not be limited only to the books. And the student should practically use what they learned. Then only their understanding will be very broad.
Okay, ma'am.
Hi, okay. Strategies to effectively elaborate in English teaching. Create original works. Have students write stories, poems, or plays based on the topic. This allows them to apply their understanding and express their creativity. Okay, so then the student should be given the chance to write stories, poems, even dramas based on given topics. And when they do that, actually they are applying what they learned. So they may know poetic devices, metaphor, simile, rhyming pattern, personification, hyperbole, many more. So when they write poems only, they will practically use what they learned. So they will write a poem with similes, metaphors, rhyming pattern. It's like that. Then conduct research. Encourage students to explore the topic further through independent research. This can help them develop critical thinking skills and deepen their understanding. So here, the term research, don't misunderstand, that is not a huge research. Even When they observe, they can do a research. When talking, they can do a research. It should not be something written actually. A kind of research.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes. Apply concepts to real world situations. Relate the topic to current events or personal experiences. This helps students see the relevance of the topic in their own lives. Okay, so then after teaching certain concepts, you can ask students to apply them to their personal experiences. Then participate in debates or discussions. Engage students in debates or discussions on the topic. This can help them develop their argumentative skills and learn from different perspectives. So they are very good things actually. Asking students to participate in a debate or discussion. So I'm just passing them because I know you can understand it.
Okay, ma'am.
Complete project-based learning activities. Assign projects that require students to apply their knowledge and skills to solve a real-world problem. This can help students develop critical thinking, problem solving, and teamwork skills. Okay, independent projects, project-based learning, that is also really good. And they will practically know lots of things. Assign projects that require students to apply their knowledge. So then the teacher should involve them in projects in a way that they can use their acquired knowledge. So then if what teacher taught is something else, what the project given is something else, that won't work. Both should tally. Okay, we'll do the last one.
Okay, madam.
Yeah, evaluate. Evaluate is the final step in 5E teaching framework. It's where students assess their understanding of the topic and the teacher assess their learning. Evaluation is from both sides. The students will assess what they understood. Teacher will assess their learning.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, use a variety of assessment methods. Employ a combination of formative and summative. You know what formative and summative? Formative assessments are done while the program is going on. Summative assessments are done at the end of the program. Okay, so that is the meaning here. Overall learning at the end of the unit. Okay, so teachers can use different variety of different assessment methods. Formative assessment, summative assessment, just like that.
Okay, madam.
Okay, provide feedback. So at the evaluation stage, the teacher should give them feedback. And feedback should be constructive feedback because purpose is to improve student. Feedback should be very, very specific, actionable, and encouraging. These qualities should be there in the feedback. Then use self-assessment. Encourage students to reflect on their own learning and set goals for improvement. Okay, so rather than teacher giving them goals, practice your students to have goals. Encourage them to have goals for improvement. This can help students take ownership of their learning and develop metacognitive skills. Okay, so then if students plan their way of learning and assessment, it is coming under metacognitive skills. That means students reflect their own learning. Rather than teacher is commenting on it, if students can get an idea about their way of learning, it's something very important. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes, create rubrics. Rubrics means some different activities. Develop rubrics that clearly outline the criteria for students' performance. This can help students understand the expectations and provide consistent framework for assessment. Okay, it's just like guidelines actually. So there should be some guidelines and which create these guidelines should very clearly indicate the criteria for students' performance. Then use portfolio. Have students collect their work in portfolio to showcase their growth and progress over time. Portfolio can be a valuable tool for self-assessment and can be used to demonstrate learning to all. And here also, most of you might have written portfolio. It's a document which reflects about yourself. Okay, portfolio writing is also a nice way of evaluating. Okay, that is the end here. What I should tell you, next day when we start, when is it next day? Check, have written. 14th of this month, okay, when we are having lectures, I will be giving you some questions. Don't worry, and I will be giving you answers also. I will discuss with you, and from this lesson, because there are lots of information. I personally feel if I give you certain questions, you will be comfortable. What's your opinion?
That's good, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am,
Okay.
that is good.
Okay. Yeah. So then I will show you the question on one side, and I will ask you to imagine the answer, and I will listen to your answers. And if it is correct, I will accept it. If it is wrong, next slide, I will show you the answer. It's something similar to that. Okay. Shall we wind up the session now?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, then good night and have a nice day.
Good night.
Okay, good night.